First, to our continuing focus on the flood situation in Jammu and Kashmir, terming the flood situation as very serious. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah said that he understood the anger of the people but dismissed allegations that have been levelled against his government as far as preparedness is concerned. Take a look.
Floodwaters are receding, but anger and resentment are mounting over what is being seen as a slow rescue and relief effort, with hundreds of thousands of people still stranded. In Srinagar, an angry mob stormed the Chief Minister's residence. Former MP Saifuddin Soz was heckled, while several have been attacked by locals still waiting to be rescued. The wrath of the people mostly falling on the local administration and the Omar government. The Chief Minister himself on the defensive. After days of photo ops and cursory appearances, Omar once again visible on the front lines last evening, clarifying his government's actions to headlines today.
Who can blame them? I mean, they don't see what we're doing. Who all do I explain to how long it takes to respond to a crisis of this nature? How long it takes to start accumulating material and flying it in?
But even as Omar harps on his government's proactiveness, his own officers cannot help but vent their anger.
एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का काम था जैसे टेम्पोररी रिहेबिलिटेशन तो उसमें किसी हद तक सिविल इस वक्त फेल है.
Elections are due in Jammu and Kashmir in just a couple of months from now, probably in November, and the level of anger against the Omar Abdullah government can be sensed in the air. People itching, waiting for an opportunity to express their anger and cast their mandate when that opportunity comes along, and that's going to be a big problem for the NC Congress government, which people believe has completely failed them and let them down at this hour of need. With camera person Premchand Mishra, this is Rahul Kamul on board an NDRF rescue vessel reporting from Srinagar for Headlines Today.
Several parts of capital Srinagar were inundated when flood waters from the Jhelum River and the Dal Lake inundated these areas. In fact, Headlines Today is the first TV channel to have reached Srinagar's picturesque lake, which is now swelling with misery.
This is how the tragedy of this flood has struck the people on living on the banks of Dal Lake. When the Dal Lake is flooded, people had to move out of their houses, taking whatsoever refuge that they could with the help of these boats. They came towards the banks of the Dal Lake, towards the upper reaches, and now have set up small little tents here and giving some sort of refuge to them. Let me just try and take you through what is the condition of people who are refugees, who are victims of this flood. These basic utensils, this basic cooking stove, some relief in terms of food material which was given to them by locals is here. They're living the life of misery here.
बिल्कुल डैमेज सब पानी पर बहुत मकान था, खिड़की के ऊपर पानी था, सब जेवरात जो चीजें बनाएगा चाहे 50 साल हो गए चाहे 80 साल हो गए सब डूब जाएगा. खाली मुझे पता नहीं मेरे फैमिली किस जगह है.
कुछ नहीं यही खाने वाले जो चीजें थे वो उठाए उस जल्दी में और निकल आए हम. सरकार की तरफ से कोई मदद कोई मदद नहीं पहुंची हमें.
It's been more than 4 days now, and the picture of devastation is right in front of us. Water is into almost all the areas adjoining the Dal Lake. This is one of the areas of the Dal Lake where water came in without any warning. These people were here till 2 in the night, and suddenly water started gushing into their houses, giving them no chance whatsoever of preparing for any sort of evacuation. Whatever little evacuation that they could do was on their own, with their own efforts. We are trying to come out of this Dal Lake area, and as you can see, with very great difficulty is exactly how these people are trying to come out, bring some whatever little things that they could. You know, the only support that I have and our team has is this gentleman who has been kind enough to row his boat into these civilian areas, and that is the reason how we have been able to give you these exclusive visuals from the ground. These people, whoever is trained in rowing these boats, has first taken out their families to the safer destinations, and now they are coming back, trying to bring out more and more people from those places where they are stranded. With cameraman Roof, Shujaul Haq in Srinagar, Firelines Today.
The Army and the Air Force engaged in rescue efforts not just in Srinagar but in surrounding areas as well. Increased efforts were seen in Rajbagh, Jawahar Nagar, Gogji Bagh and Shivpura. Dozens of boats were pressed into service. Food packets were also airdropped by Air Force choppers. Mosmi Singh brings us this report.
You can see how the cheetah chopper has just dropped food materials at the terrace of this house. You can see that white bag, the black bag, some food material, and there are children on the other side who are clapping. People are waving and hoping that they will be rescued. And that is how the army is putting all its efforts to get people rescued. And if they can't be rescued, try and send relief material, drop food packets. That was the cheetah chopper. We are sitting in a cheetah copter that specially operates at the Siachen Glacier. So now we are taking part in one of the relief operations, trying to provide food material to this family who is waving. They wave. There are 2 small children, 2 men and few women there right near the terrace, just few steps ahead. We zoom in close to the terrace, just right on the terrace. Now the door will be opened and you can see how close we are to the house. Some Maggi packets and 2 bottles of water at the spot. I hope that will be enough for them. Yeah, there the child holding the Maggi packet and the girls waving, the women waving and the man in the red shirt waving. There is a smile on their face. They don't know when they will be rescued, but they are happy. You can see that we took part in how the relief material is dropped, how close the copter goes. We gave an entire exercise, how the army is putting the operations into place, and there are packets still left. We will be continuing the operation till we finish all the relief material, all the food material, and we can head back to the headquarters then. With camera person Ravikant is Mosmi Singh in Srinagar for Headlines Today.
The Air Force and the Army have been able to rescue close to 77,000 flood victims, but lakhs are still stranded, stuck in areas that are still inaccessible by road. Air Force choppers have been airlifting people who have been huddling on rooftops. Headlines Today's Gaurav Sawant takes us through one such rescue operation.
An extremely difficult operation being undertaken by the Indian Air Force. This Mi-17 helicopter will be going to a low-lying area. It's a fairly posh area of Jawahar Nagar. There is water up to the 3rd floor of most houses. For the 4th day, people are trapped on the rooftop, many without food or water. There will be a winching operation. There will be an effort made to pick people up. There are relatives of those who are there trapped for the past 4 days. Families desperately trying to look for their near and dear ones. Hopefully, this winching operation will be successful and many more lives can be saved. We are flying over the Dal Lake in Srinagar, but you cannot make out where the lake ends and where the road begins. If you just look around, there at one point of time there were hundreds and hundreds of houseboats in this Dal Lake, and that's that magnificent golf course. But all you see is the water of the Jhelum river all around. This place is completely inundated. The houseboats have been destroyed, and so have many homes around here. There is a rescue attempt being made in one of these localities. It is very risky to rescue people here for the simple reason there are high tension wires, and also apart from high tension wires there are tall trees. It is extremely difficult to rescue people, but an effort is being made, a brave effort is being made to rescue people. 100 people still trapped as more and more people are being rescued by the Indian Air Force here. Now these birds are actually angels in the sky rescuing people, and brave commandos like Aditya risking their lives, going down again and again in very difficult areas. Now this entire area is completely inundated. This lady, this little child were rescued. आप कितने दिन से फंसे?
Sir, यहाँ 7-10 days हो गए हमें. 7 days.
We'll also speak to you were here stuck. You came to this open ground. Is there food? Is there water?
There is no water here. There is no electricity, but we have little food here.
So there is still some food. Effort being made to rescue people. The Indian Air Force, as these people say, clearly angels in the sky. With cameraman Vinod Kumar, Gaurav Sawant in Srinagar for Headlines Today.